Good evening and welcome to Just Event Online News at 9. I am Rashidat Morino. The news headlines. Tinubu says Nigerian aviation sector is Africa's most exploited market. First Lady Remi Tinubu lauds APC for promoting women's inclusion in politics. House seeks reduction in age to contest for Senate and governorship seats. Governors' renewed commitment to improve gender equity and social inclusion. Security crisis, federal government vows tougher actions against terrorists. Adamawa State unveils 5 W's humanitarian and development management information system. Resident doctors, Fourth Labour Ministry claims says strike continues. Cardinal urge to announce youth population for economic development. Now the news in details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Monday urged global investors to take advantage of the vast opportunities in Nigerian aviation sector, describing it as one of the most viable and underexploited markets on the African continent. The president disclosed this at the 2025 Federal Airport Authority of Nigerian National Aviation Conference titled Elevating the Nigerian Aviation Industry Through Investment, Partnership and Global Engagement. The president, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, stated that Nigeria, the largest domestic aviation market, is on continent with over 220 million people, proposes a strategic geographical location that is ideal for trans-African and intercontinental linkage. Nigerian First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has applauded the national leadership of the All Progressive Congress over what she described as deliberate politics promoting women's inclusion. She gave the commendation in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, while speaking during the Women's Summit of the state chapter of APC with the theme, Effectiveness of Women in Politics. The House of Representatives has taken steps towards amending the 1999 Constitution to further reduce the age for those willing to contest elective positions across the country. As part of the effort, the House passed for the second reading a constitution amendment bill to reduce the age of qualification for membership of the Senate and House of the Governor, sponsored by Martin, Etim, and 24 others. The Constitution currently sets 35 as the minimum age for candidates wishing to contest for senatorial and governorship tickets, while the age for those contesting the House of Representatives seats is pegged at a minimum of 25. The 36 governors across the states of the Federation, under the auspices of the Nigerian Governors Forum, have restated their commitment to aiding efforts and strengthening subnational support for gender equity and social inclusion. The forum's chairman and Kwara State Governor, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, gave the assurance in Abuja while announcing the establishment of a new gender affairs department within the NGF to strengthen subnational support for gender equity and social inclusion. A statement by the NGF's Director, Media and Strategic Communication, Yunusa Abdullahi, said Abdulrazak spoke while inaugurating the community of practice for commissioners of women affairs. The federal government has restated its determination to defeat terrorism, banditry and other violent crises across the country following a recent wave of attack that has highlighted public concern and anxiety. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, gave the assurance on Wednesday during a press briefing in Abuja, where he provided updates on the government's response to the escalating security situation. Addressing journalists, Idris conveyed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu sympathizes to families affected by recent violent incidents, including the killing of a senior army general, the abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi State, and an attack on a church in Kwara State. The Adamawa State government has launched the 5Ws Humanitarian and Development Management Information System, a strategic tool designed to enhance coordination and reporting in humanitarian and development responses across the state. The workshop, organized by the Adamawa State Ministry for Reconstruction, Rehabilitation, Reintegration and Humanitarian Services, focused on strengthening response information management by clearly addressing critical questions of who is doing what, where, when, and for whom. Declaring the workshop open, the Honorable Commissioner of the Ministry, Honorable Bello Ahmed Diram, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Pharmacist Amos, emphasized the urgent need to redefine clear roles and responsibility in humanitarian data management. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has rejected claims by the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment that significant progress has been made towards resolving the government's grievances, describing the ministry statement as misleading and not reflective of reality. NAC, in a statement on Thursday, said it was profoundly disappointed by a November 19 press release from the ministry, which suggested that a high percentage of the association demands has been addressed. The statement, signed by the NAC President, Dr. Mohammed Suleiman, Secretary General, Dr. Shuaib Ibrahim, and Publicity and Social Secretary, Dr. Abdulmajid Ibrahim, noted that a review of negotiation conducted during its extraordinary National Executive Council meeting on November 17 showed that not a single one of its 19 major demands has been fully met. The news headlines. Tinubu says Nigerian aviation sector is Africa's most exploited market. First Lady Remi Tinubu lauds APC for promoting women's inclusion in politics. House seeks reduction in age to contest for Senate and governorship seats. Governors' renewed commitment to improve gender equity and social inclusion. Security crisis. Federal government vows tougher actions against terrorists. Adamawa State unveils 5Ws Humanitarian and Development Management Information System. Resident doctors, Fourth Labour Ministry claims, says strike continues. Cardinal urge to announce youth population for economic development. Adamawa State unveils 5Ws Humanitarian and Development Management Information System. Resident doctors, Fourth Labour Ministry claims, says strike continues. Cardinal urge to announce youth population for economic development. Adamawa State unveils 5Ws Humanitarian and Development Management Information System. Resident doctors, Fourth Labour Ministry claims, says strike continues. Cardinal urge to announce youth population for economic development.